love and friends and family.
It's all about sharing a feast and cheers.
It's always been happy cause the children are dear.
It's all about peace every time of the year.
If only I could see your face again, not behind the screen at the other end.
If only we could party, kick back your boots, just let me.
Wishing Christmas time to be together.
It's all about the family. It's all about TNC. What? It's all about the family. Don't fret, don't sweat. You know what it is, cause you know and I know we'll be together
We're
again.
going together to be together. It's Christmas time once again, and you know how we'll begin. Spread love and receive blessings from above.
If only I could see your face again, not behind the screen at the other end. If only we could party, kick back your boots, just let me.
Wishing Christmas time we'd be together again.
Wishing Christmas time to be together again.
The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 18 days before Christmas. Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that sees all things new. I'm Erwin Ursua and I'm streaming live from Quezon City. Good evening. Welcome to Win Within on TNC. Good evening, winners. Welcome again here on Win Within on TNC. And of course, I would like to say it again. It's 18 days before Christmas. Grabe, Christmas rush. You can feel the Christmas rush right now. So you can feel the Christmas rush right now, actually. And of course, there's traffic everywhere. The malls are right now are full already. A lot of people are going to the malls, and definitely you also feel the Christmas spirit because of a lot of Christmas parties going on, and definitely there are a lot of Christmas decorations around the streets. So with that, since it's Christmas, being a special month of the year, we also have a special guest tonight. Actually, I'm very nervous. So but before that, of course, I would like to greet everyone. Good evening. And for all our viewers in other parts of the world, so good day, good morning if it's morning in your place right now. So I would like to invite you, just like what I've said, it's a special episode tonight because we have a special guest. And I would like our topic for tonight is actually winning over tough times through resilience, and of course, it's about resilient leadership or resilience. And please do ask your questions to our special guest later on through our comments. So, and also you can do your greetings, shout outs through our comment section. Okay, so I won't take that long anymore. Of course, our special guest for tonight. I'm very privileged. Win Within here on TNC is privileged to have our guest tonight. Of course, our guest tonight is none other than TNC's President and Chief Executive Producer, Miss Apple Manansala. Okay, let's give her a very big hand and let's all welcome her here on Win With It on TNC. Hello, Miss Apple. How are you? How are you? Kumusta? Kumusta? Merry Christmas.
Hi, Coach Erwin. And good evening to all our winners, to all the winners who are always following your show.
Yes.
I hope you're hearing me very loud and clearly. And Merry Christmas to Coach Erwin.
Yun. Sige. Sabi nga, let's start the ball rolling agad. Ano kasi, winning over tough times through resilience. Ano ba tong resilience na to, di ba? Actually, we've been in tough times already right now. Pandemic is still there. I mean, but of course, we are in a way loosening it up already. TNC was born during the pandemic. It's almost 3 years now. How is the channel winning right now in general?
Well, we were able to create more shows.
Mm-hmm.
There are I lost count. I lost count of the number of shows that we have. But this month alone, we are supposed to be launching two new shows. I'm not sure about their timeline kasi ang hirap nga, as you said, it's already a busy month for many of us, and I don't want to pressure our hosts to just produce the content, but I'd like them to be able to get ready properly. But I think a few announcements has been made. 2 shows upcoming. One is Beyond Beauty by Elise Estrada. And then the other one is si Direk, baka matulungan ako sa private chat. The other one is they call it Shots Fired, by Erwin Manansala, my husband, Chino Ahoro, and one of our newest hosts, si Carlo Contis. And then, of course, we were able to roll out Jam at Home. Natapos yung 1 season ng Jam at Home within the month of November and December yan. But all throughout the year, of course, there's so many highlights. I cannot think of all of them right at this moment. But the ones that are returning this week, I think, is Jam at Home Season 2 is premiering soon. And then Once a Teacher, Always a Teacher Season 3 is streaming soon as well. And then Market Leader Season 2 is also returning soon. Sabi ni Derek, Jam at Home is premiering tomorrow night. Season 2 na yon. So what's good about Jam at Home, and as you said, what's where we are winning, is that Jam at Home, it's been a show where the buskers from all over the Philippines, and also those who doesn't have an actual stage, we allow them to have a virtual stage on TNC. So parang entry level nila to online performances yung Jam at Home. So nakakatuwa kasi some of them were even Joseph the Dreamer artists, and then majority of them are buskers from BGC, from Eastwood, and some of them are talagang mga performers from live events or performers from community activities, and they were all housed in one concept or in one show, which is Jam at Home. So nakakatuwa kasi iba-iba yung dynamics nila. So those are some of the wins. Not Also, we have also been recognized as a media partner to some events from May of this year up to present. We go to several invitations to cover their events, to cover their conferences, to cover their product launches or brand launches,
Mhm.
not as a media personality per se, but basically as a community partner. And they are slowly acknowledging us, Coach Erwin, as
Mhm.
one of the alternative, no, new media platforms. And
Yeah.
of course, I'm very glad, no, I'm very glad that so many people are already recognizing us as a new player, as an alternative platform to the mainstream. And just today, I had a meeting with two advertising agencies. But of course, if you will be there on December 19 for our Christmas party, you will hear a lot of this good news for the upcoming year. And hopefully, by God's grace, we will be able to launch a lot of new things in 2023.
Yeah, great, no? Of course, just like what you've said, Apple, no, na parang from the shows, and then at the same time, launching new types of shows, especially jam, ano, no, jam at home. Actually, the jam at home, it's a great win, not only for TNC, but I guess for performers right now to really, show their talent, their world known, parang world, kumbaga, world, what do you call this? Kumbaga talent nila na world class. So, 'di ba? So,
Yes,
'yun.
yes.
Siyempre, PNC pang world class na rin talaga, 'di ba? So,
Yeah, of course.
'di ba totoo naman, 'di ba? And right now, of course, from the vision that you have initially, so I know that parang you went already from an on track to beyond the track. So beyond already. How do you see TNC going towards 2023?
There's still so many opportunities, Coach Erwin. In fact, I am more pumped to do something else because there are so many people who are encouraging us to do something else. So, hindi pa lang natin talaga syempre ma-announce lahat at this point. But hopefully, sooner or later, we will be also announcing some great news about the developments of our entire network and what else we can do. And as you have been seeing, our followers can already see me, more of me, lately, because some of the event invitations really requires me to be there. And but slowly, I am immersing some of the shows already. Hopefully, one of these days, you can also you were there, right? But you weren't able to interview yet. But hopefully, sooner or later, we can also have you interviewing some of the VIPs that we have been meeting on ground events, because we also have to slowly pace, no, with what's happening outside our homes, because while we're still in the pandemic, we are already, approaching the endemic, and many activations have already been brought back to the malls, to the convention centers, and all these doors and all these opportunities have been offered to us as well. So of course, we can't say no to those opportunities, no, because it's a chance for us to also be able to help more people, be able to impart to them what we're doing on TNC. And there are a lot of new partnerships as well who would like to work with us. Like, of course, somehow we have already mentioned the possibility of having TNC in a cable network in the US. That one definitely is something that many people should look forward, or should watch out for, because to me, stemming from how we've started this community, this community channel, it is just but gratefulness that I have from the people who have continued to create content through our platform, including you, including Roman, of course, who's on stream right now, and those who are always watching you, these 7,000 people who are watching. But importantly, what I have really learned over time is that it doesn't matter how many people watch us live. What's really important is that we are able to express ourselves to people. We are able to objectively, create a content that is going to help them transform into the better individuals that they are. And at least one person, Coach Erwin, na natatouch natin every time that we spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, content on TNC is, I think, good enough kasi that's a good starting point already. So eventually, we will be able to encourage them all to create content, be themselves, be unapologetic, but always remain to be responsible as well. And of course, what we have always been campaigning, to use digital for good. Never forget to use digital for good.
Of course, definitely, no, definitely yun naman, digital for good, di ba? And sabi mo nga, an audience of one is already okay. But of course, definitely, from that one, sabi nga nila, you only need one to spark a fire, di ba? Or to spark,
Yes.
kumbaga, that viral, that viral thing that we want to have in order for TNC to spread, for TNC to be known, of course, globally nga, di ba? So yun.
At the end of
So,
the day, Coach Erwin, we don't do naman what we do in TNC just to be famous, di ba? I'm
yes,
sure you don't do that, right? So
of
we
course.
want to do what we're doing on TNC to be able to form more communities out of the communities that we are already representing. So
That's great.
just by, just you, Coach Erwin, as someone who is representing the life coaches here in the Philippines, those who have traveled far to, to incorporate and finally has landed into your dream role, probably, in the society. I'm sure there will be a lot of people who will be interested to know more about how you are able to transform into who you are right now. And just by telling that story over and over again to at least a few individuals will already make sense later on. But we just have to be consistent with what we're doing. And that's what I've also learned on creating content through TNC, because our platform is very niche, no, Coach Erwin. Parang each one is really being curated, each one is being tried to be not naman perfected, but we're trying to bridge something in a way where we just cater to specific audience, not the general audience. And that's okay, because I'm sure when we create enough content, people will also be drawn to our platforms, and they will begin to appreciate what we have been doing. We just really have to consistently do it and work hard for every story that we will be creating on the shows.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, of course, definitely. Win Within on TNC is my, kumbaga, it's my way of sharing my passion and my purpose, and of course, to help others, especially in their transformation and in their career, in their life right now. But and of course, my advocacy in self leadership, because yun nga, diba, Win Within is actually winning within yourself first in order for you to win in life. So yun naman talaga yung purpose natin. And this is this platform basically is all about that. Yun.
Yeah.
Right now, no, of course, we've been talking about winning, because actually in any in anything that we do, we need to be grateful first. That's why I've asked about what's your winning, what's TNC's winning, how are we doing right now. But we know that in life, in reality, of course, we do have tough times. We have struggles, we have difficulties in life, and yun naman talaga yung topic natin tonight. But again, just like what I've said, we start not parang not focusing that much first in the struggles, because it really happens, But of course, on kumbaga, being grateful in all the things that we are blessed right now, even though we're still in pandemic. Right now, Apple, sabi ko nga, rather than ask you a short CV, so I guess this is the time that I ask you. We go back in time. We backtrack a little bit. So even though nga ang topic natin is since our topic is about resilience or being a resilient leader, we would like to know what was your background before being the CEO of Chief Executive Producer and President of TNC, and at the same time also one of the business partner of Puzzle Box. So what were your background? So can you share it to our winners, to our audience, and of course before putting the channel. So what were you doing?
What did I do? So many things, and Puzzle Box, for one, we're a business process outsourcing company. We are helping digital companies and also traditional companies with their digital requirement and customer support requirement. Erwin, my husband, and I has been doing that business for the past 10 years. And
Wow.
and prior to that, and while we are at that, and prior to that, I was in advertising. I used to be the head of sales and marketing for Adobo magazine. I was there for more than 5 years, and that was really the exposure that I had in advertising, in business development, in running a media outfit, because I was tasked to really make sure that the business is up and running and to ensure that the business survives. And that allowed me to also use the other things or the other learnings that I have gotten from my other work prior to Adobo Magazine naman. So actually, prior to Adobo Magazine, I was one of those who put together Village Choice, if you've heard
Mm-hmm.
of that. So these are the village publications that were
Communication. Yeah.
circulated within the high-end villages in Quezon City and also in the south.
Makati, yeah,
And
in Makati.
I was one of the partners in creating that. And we already create so many festivals because of that business venture that I had with a friend. And so what I'm trying to establish in that aspect is that TNC is not actually the first platform that I created. So I know when to create and I know also when to fold the business. So it just so happened that one I was part owner of that as well. And
Mm-hmm.
also the Adobo magazine, I was just an employee there, but my role really was so much so that I had to act like at least act like one of the owners, because it's really required. It's a it's a huge brand, but it's actually handled by a small or a very lean team, so we have to double up for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was also a lease marketing officer for SM Supermalls. So when Mall of Asia was built here in the Philippines, I was part of the team. When the block in North EDSA was created, I was also part of the team. So I'm not alone in doing there. In fact, that was where I met King Gonzalez, because we were both in SM for lease marketing. So our task there is really mainly business development. So name it, almost all the brands in the malls, we had to study, what kind of directions there are for them, where can we place them in the mall, all of those things. In fact, if there's anything na very memorable to me, when we opened the Mall of Asia, because it's the biggest mall in the Philippines, right? Or if not in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
that time, we had to memorize every single sulok, in Mall of Asia. Nasaan ang ganitong store, kailangan memorize namin kung nasaan. Ganon siya kalala. So, you can just imagine
That
that.
was big. I mean, before it was, diba? It was the first one of the first big malls, diba? So
Yes, in the world, actually, in the world.
yeah.
And in the Philippines, I'm not sure about it right now. I'm not sure. But when I was still there, I was handling the biggest mall, which is SM City North EDSA. Biggest mall in terms of leasable spaces, because that's how business development people like us look at it. So if you have more spaces being leased out, so you become the biggest mall. So I was one of those who handled that. And 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 when you work for organizations like SM, you get exposure from all those tasks, no, hindi lang yung for your mall, but because you're a pioneering mall, you're the first mall, you're the baby mall, you have to, and You're the most productive mall. My mall before was the most productive. I'm not sure about their updates and their stats right now, but it's the biggest and the most productive mall at the time that I was there. That's why when I left corporate for SM, everyone was saying, "Oh, that's already your comfort zone. Why leave? It's the
Yeah,
biggest. It's one of the biggest companies in the
company.
Philippines, and you know, but things became different. Even my own personal objectives became different. And when I left SM, I left for a company which served talagang 100% purpose driven. I left SM for Galileo Enrichment Learning Program only because I needed more time for my family. If you're in a corporate task and you have so many things to do, you need to find time also to have that balance, right? The life balance that you just need. So, and I was glad to be offered that job as head again of their marketing and ano naman and franchise development. So when I left for SM, I went to Galileo Enrichment Learning Program, and I became the head of their franchise development and marketing. So there we staged so many activations as well, and we did so many trainings. Pero ang difference nito, Coach Erwin, if when I
Mhm.
was in SM, I was exposed to businessmen, no, big and small. Dito naman, I was exposed to educators and hardcore educators because we were producing program for children ages ages 3 to 12. And at the time, we were the ones who brought the first Singapore math curriculum here in the Philippines. So it was a totally different task. I mean, it's still marketing and business development, but in a totally different perspective. This time you talk to educators with PhDs, and their language, the demeanor, the style of marketing and networking it's still very, very different. And just it sparked no ngayon naisip ko lang because one of those best educators that I have met, she heads the early childhood education program and very well known in the Philippines. She heads the one in LaSalle Taft. She will have a show in 2023, in early of 2023. That's
Okay.
just one of the announcements that I can make because we already have a show concept for her. We are already on the final stage of preparing for her show on TNC. So I met her on the Galileo, and I she's really a personality, and she's been looked up by many educators here in the Philippines and even abroad, especially for early childhood educators. So imagine at the time that I was doing Galileo naman, Coach Erwin, wala pa akong anak noon.
Mhm.
Mag-aasawa pa lang ako.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so imagine I I had to become a teacher even if I wasn't a teacher, because you have to live the life of a teacher so that you will be able to come up with something for educators and also for kids. And I had to advance myself in that perspective because again, you need to create something the parents to consume naman, because it's the parents who will buy the program. So the reason why I needed to become a teacher is because I'm selling to schools and selling to educators to invest as a franchise. So that's a totally different role, totally different perspective. But the best part of that is that you know that from that point on, it really sparked the interest of changing someone's life. Kasi when you're exposed to educators and also to the students, especially the young children, you'll see talaga na you have to make a difference in these people's lives. And when I became friends with some educators, when I became friends with some of the teachers, makikita mo na yung saying na being a teacher is the noblest profession, talagang they're living that life. And I saw how simple their lives are. I saw how difficult their task is, but how they are enjoying it, and they live they lived a life talaga. Every educator, every teacher, I highly look up to them kasi it's so hard to become a professional, a marketing professional, a life coach like you. It's so hard, but it's even harder to become a teacher. Kasi when you're a teacher, most especially for young kids, you're the one preparing them in their lifetime. So, since nakilala ko sila, nakita ko yung how humble they are and indeed how noble their professions are. Parang coming from a lifestyle na business development, merchandise kasi yung exposure ko sa SM, parang it brought me down to real life. Parang ito yung profession na pag pinili mo, talagang paninindigan mo siya. Ganon. Kasi pwedeng negosyante ka lang pero iba yung negosyante ka at the same time, educator ka. And I've seen that difference. And then prior to that, I've been doing PR. I haven't really told many people about this, and of course my family and some of my closest friends still remember this. But when I was 20 years old, the first time I worked here in Manila, my first job was actually as PR officer and marketing officer. As a PR officer, my task is to be interviewed on TV. So all these things that we're doing, this is actually not new to me. The only difference is that I'm now talking about the things that we have done. When I was 20 until 23 and 22, something like that, I was talking about a brand and everything about the brand that I had to learn and memorize. Because I was 20, I'm talking about the history of a 40-year-old brand, a well-known brand in the country, in that industry. And I can't fail the management because they really chose me for that role. So imagine at 20 years old, I get interviewed in the mga unang hirit, umagang kay ganda, or alas 5, hindi naman
Because
yata,
of
alas
that
5,
brand.
alas 5:30, umagang kay ganda, ganyan. So I get interviewed on those and even others like Channel 4, Channel 9 pa meron pa before, Channel 7. So I get interviewed on those channels because of my representation for the brand. And that was really my first exposure to media. And the biggest difference is that, when I was in Galileo, I also get interviewed from time to time as, to represent the company. But the big difference is really because now I'm talking about the accomplishments that we have done as ourselves. So, like, yung mga previous kasi medyo, like, yung unang brand, wala naman akong kinalaman paano siya nabuo I was just telling the story, how it came about, what are the things that's new, ganyan. And between those job roles, Coach Erwin, I was tasked as the office manager for Level Up Incorporated. So, Level Up Incorporated was actually one of the first or the pioneer in digital and especially on online gaming here in the
Online
Philippines.
gaming, yeah.
So that's where I met Erwin in that company.
Yun pala yun.
He had taken that role na very different from the roles that I wanted to get into, which is marketing, advertising. I would have not met him. So I was thinking about those times when every time I'll make a narrative of my story. Yun kasi yung medyo off sa work My department then was office management, but it's under human resources. And if you think about it, lahat ng naging work ko parang siya yung pinaka hindi relate. But in my lifetime, I was checking what was the reason why I was brought there in the first place. And the reason was because I will meet Erwin in that company. And the rest, as they say, is history. Almost everything na sinabi ko sa'yo, kasama ko naman siya. But the first few ones, hindi ko kasi sinabi sa kanya. Kaya alam ko before yan, when we were still friends, nire-research pa niya nila. Kung na-interview dati, ganon. Yeah. So, hinahanap nila yung mga former interviews ko. Pati sa dyaryo, I used to be interviewed a lot in the newspapers because of the brand that I was representing. So, yeah.
Yeah, galing, no? Like what you said a while ago, when to create and when to fold. So parang kitang-kita yung pagiging adaptable mo, and being adaptable actually is one of the kumbaga top characteristic yan of being a resilient leader. So and at the same time, no, thank you for sharing a lot of your credentials and of course your corporate experience. So just like one question lang among all of those, no, parang which was parang the toughest to handle, that, and if you can share siguro kahit one major experience na parang you really parang had that parang because of resiliency you were able to get over it.
The toughest would be when Erwin and I already started Puzzle Box.
Okay.
That was the toughest kasi it's different when you're the one, when you're representing yourself na. Parang at some point you would have doubts about things, and especially remember we were doing this when we were very young. 10 years ago I was just 30 years old, and whenever you introduce, and the target audience of Puzzle Box has always been primarily international clients. So when, or if not international clients, medyo big companies here in the Philippines who would outsource or who would afford to outsource. So it wasn't easy to tell them that, hey, this is my husband, 32-year-old, and I am 30-year-old, no children, and we own a BPO. That was one of the toughest kasi we don't even have a single white hair at the time when we were starting it, Coach Erwin. So parang establishing
credibility, establishing di ba? Parang ganun.
Part I don't understand why, but I'm speaking from experience. Part talaga siya ng credentials, kumbaga, age and your look, your appearance. And at the time, para talaga kaming nene at totoy na, sometimes, I do remember we were invited in a pitch in Singapore, and that pitch even allowed us to travel, and the company paid for all the travel expenses. So sinabi lang, no, we want you to come here and then you pitch to us. Tapos pagdating namin doon, syempre mga pinatawag may-ari. So tinatanong kami, parang kayo ba talaga yung may-ari ng company? French yung may-ari ng company na we were pitching the brand for. Tinatanong kami, kayo ba talaga yung may-ari nung company? Kasi yung bata nyo, parang ganun yung message niya sa amin. So syempre, who else? Sabi namin, yeah, we brought the papers. The papers are all here. You can check, you can verify, etc. So, feeling namin, hindi memorable yun sa akin kasi binayaran nila yung lahat ng expenses namin, pero hindi namin nakuha yung project. Kasi nga, parang ang hinahanap nila yung medyo established na in terms of baka mamaya anong gawin namin sa kanila. Parang ganun yung dating. Kasi wala pa talaga kaming portfolio nung time na yun for Puzzle Box. Ang portfolio namin, yung pinanggalingan naming companies, Erwin in EPLDT and in Level Up, tapos ako naman sa previous jobs ko, which includes Adobo Magazine, SM, ganyan. So, yung ibang parts, especially yung sa akin na Coach Erwin, walang kinalaman sa outsourcing. So, it was just really the portfolio of Erwin that we were riding on, and my capacity to explain these things to people. Like I'm the one talagang yada, 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 yada sa presentation. So, at some point, yun yung challenge doon. Kasi it's so difficult when you're the one representing yourself. But at the same time, it's also the most rewarding, Coach Erwin. Kasi syempre, that one we didn't win, but the others we won, 'di ba? So the ones that you won, it's so rewarding, 'di ba? But along the way there's so many hurdles. Like I do remember in Puzzle Box on our first year, niloko kami ng mga iba naming empleyado. Ina-announce ko ba talaga 'to? So I mean, ibig sabihin, kahit anong aspect ng negosyo or buhay mo, meron talagang dadalhin sa'yo na ang gagawin, lolokohin ka. So, even in Puzzle Box, we had that, no? But we just refused to fight it legally because kawawa naman sila. There's a life, there's still a life ahead of all of us, and they're still very young to do what they have done so rudely. And so, we just shrug it off and then focus on the other things that really mattered to us. But if you'll tell me if that decision was the best decision to make, well, I guess for peace of mind, yes. But to teach people some lessons, baka hindi. Baka hindi.
Mhm.
But at the time that we were starting, we weren't also very capable yet to do all the things that we can do now. That's why, and at the end, that's why we did what we did. No regrets, but if that could probably be happening now, baka it's a different story na. Baka it's a different story. But
Yeah, but that's one thing good naman eh. Parang you did your best to adjust from the learnings that you have. I mean with I don't know with your experience, with your different experiences, especially in puzzle box. So I guess that makes you a really a resilient leader also talaga.
even up to now, I'd say
Right.
that that still is the biggest accomplishment so far because from 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 operating and owning it, we have already ventured to a few other things. Kami ni Erwin, like we have a gaming company, we have a development company, we have a barber shop. Hopefully it becomes a chain of barber shop. All of this happening before TNC. And then, of course, we have TNC now and so many other things that they want to still do together. Because at the end of the day, siguro it's resilience and at the same time, focusing your goals, no? Focusing on goals that are really realistic. I would always remember what my previous and my very first boss at work who told me to just live your life to the fullest, but always remember to set smart goals, no? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and
Yes,
time
they
bound.
can fight.
So he really taught me to write all my dreams that could become reality, and dreams that you just dream forever. Forever
Yeah.
is going to be a dream. So, but write it down because, as they say, some people say when you say something, it manifests, right? But to me kasi, in my own experience, hindi lahat ng sinasabi ko nagkakatotoo. So, pero lahat halos ng sinusulat ko, nagagawan ng paraan para magkatotoo. So, I think it does manifest when you write it down, especially when you write it down for a purpose. So,
Yeah.
yun. And syempre, at the end of the day, with everything that we're doing, with all the accomplishments that we're having, we just have to always remember that we should be doing. Ito naman, great reminder sa akin ng businessman father ko who will
Mhm.
always remind me that no matter what you do, never step down on other people. So if there's one thing that I will never swear to God and swear to my life
Mhm.
do is to step down on other people. I will
That's good.
never do that. Even if it's done to me, I will never do that because if I do that, it means that I'm not becoming the daughter that my father has raised me. So
That's
I will
raised.
never do that. That might be a trigger for me not to go to heaven and see him again. So, nung ka, sabi niya, Coach Irvin.
Okay, that's good. So napunta na tayo sa being a good child. Okay, so and I know you yourself is right now a mom already. So of course, being a mom and at the same time outside of work, no. So I'm sure you've also encountered tough times, no. And siguro I'll take this as a hanging question, and then when we come back, you answer it. Parang, can you share some tough times you've encountered as a mom and outside of work? And of course, I know. You can share that later on after we say thank you to our sponsors. Okay, so I guess we'll see again, Ma'am Apple. And with that, we'd like to share already our sponsors for our show. Of course, definitely our major sponsor, no, Celergen of Switzerland. And of course, wellness is the true essence of celebration because sabi nga nila, it's already a cliche that health is wealth. And it's true that we witnessed what had happened to other people due to the pandemic, family, friends, and during the COVID surge and even the present times. May we have a renewed awareness that each day is a gift, each day we get older, and each day we can show kindness to our bodies. And that is what Celergen can do. Okay? And of course, Celergen of Switzerland, your edge in everyday life. Celergen is actually a supplement, okay, a daily supplement that you can take, okay, especially for those 40s and above. And of course, for your creative marketing and communication and events, of course, DPF. They do events and creative marketing communications beyond the usual.
Greenfield District, the future-ready district, home to Greenfield Tower, with its state-of-the-art fiber-optic internet backbone. Connectivity is built right into residences like Twin Oaks Place. 15 flourishing hectares right at the heart of Metro Manila, so that at work and at play, we can plant a future where dreams grow. Greenfield District, the future-ready district.
Okay, TNC Shows announcement. The new channel is an online alternative new media platform of online shows for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you. TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our channel is a responsible global 24/7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. And of course, watch Win Within on TNC. You can watch live or on replay via Facebook or YouTube every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Philippine time. And follow us on IG, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search hashtag TNC Now for sponsorships. Please email now@thenewchannel.com or send us a DM. Enjoy these life-changing shows because we made them for you. Okay. And of course, share the goodness of everyday wellness this Christmas season with Celergen of Switzerland. We do have a promo. The Christmas promo. There, we have the Burmans promo, which is available in 15 boxes, 6 boxes, and 2 boxes. And also we have a Christmas promo. There, the Christmas care package. So give love in Christmas. Give love this Christmas to Celergen of Switzerland. So available while stock lasts. So if you want to order Celergen's Christmas promo and Christmas care package, please do call or Viber Liza at 0917-519-6437. Again, our major sponsor, Celergen of Switzerland. Thank you very much, Celergen. Thank you very much, Celergen. And of course, we'd like to welcome back again Miss Apple, of course, our TNC President and Chief Executive Producer.
Hi, Coach Erwin.
Right. Yeah. So our question a while ago before we have our break, of course, we'd like to ask, of course, as a mom, and of course, you do a lot of things outside of your work. Your work right now is Puzzlebox and TNC. Can you share to us any of the tough times that you've encountered lately, or as a mom, and at the same time outside of work, that you think you've overcome or win over?
It's always a struggle to manage my time, my schedule, especially now, being a mom, being a wife, being being confident to many people, especially for TNC, and handling several companies is not easy as well. But honestly, hindi kasi ako masyadong Coach Erwin, hindi ako yung tipo ng taong tinatry ko na hindi masyadong nag-stay sa isang difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think yun yung doon nagsistem yung pagiging resilient ko, no. Doon pa lang. And there's a problem, I face it right away. And if it's something na hindi ko makokontrol, I know when to handle it and not to handle it. Like what I tell you nga kanina, there are things that you just have to let go. Parang ganon. But
parang
again,
control what you can control. Parang control your controllables. Yun yung dyan.
Yes. But again, it's always a struggle. I'm not perfect. My life is not perfect. The things that I'm doing are not perfect as well. I am a work in progress. And so, madami, like everyday lang. And I don't, FOMO ako pagdating kay Andre. So, FOMO ako pag may things na nami-miss out ako sa school, or may mami-miss out ako about him. Yon, hindi ko siya gustong nile-let go. So, I tend to prioritize that because I said to myself when I had him, I prayed so hard to have a child and to have a better purpose with my existence. And so, when he was given to us, I felt that was the most rewarding and at the same time should be my priority. So, and I have a very I have a very responsible husband naman who makes sure na he takes care of the things that we need, not the things that I want, but the things that I need, the things that we need as a family. So he covers that. Kaya I don't have much pressure as well in terms of work or career, no. Nasa akin na lang talaga yon if I want to be pressured or not. And I think I'm also at the state kami ni Erwin, my husband, we're probably in the state in our lives where we can decide on things that make us happy, decide on things that will benefit not only us, but also the people around us. And there are a lot of people who are employed to us, and we need to make sure that we help them. And the struggle, not only becoming as a mom to Andre, but also becoming, an ate or the mom to some of our employees as well. Kasi when you're working and you let the company handle all these things, then it's so much easier for you, diba? And that's normally, if you're in a corporate world, you don't really think about where to get the salary of people, or if they are really getting enough, and if they're happy and satisfied and fulfilled with what they're doing. But if you're the employer, all of those things are tasked on you. So if some people think that having, running a business is easy, then great for you. Good luck. Because
Mhm.
if you're really running your business properly, such that yung may employees ka talaga na kailangan mong pasweldohin, kailangan mong pag-benefit, kailangan mong asikasuhin at i-make sure that they're getting the benefits that they need, and you're paying your proper taxes, your the works of a company, then the work doesn't become easy anymore. Baka mas madali pang maging corporate executive. Kasi nga, corporate executive, not that it's easy also. Depende rin kasi yun sa task mo and the way you'll handle things. But in my own experience, baka mas madali yun. Kasi with that, I didn't have to worry about every little thing in the company. As compared to running your own, you have to look at all the perspective of the businesses so that the business will survive. And when the pandemic happened, lahat yon kailangan mong tingnan.
Mhm.
And in fact, going back to how the whole of TNC got conceptualized in the first place, malakas yung loob ko to get into this in the beginning, because I know we can utilize the people that we had in Puzzle Box who lost some of the projects that we normally would be having at the time when pandemic happened. So if we didn't have that, I don't think I will also brave it to do TNC. Kasi then I will have to, take care of every little thing along the way. And because we have Puzzle Box as a backbone or as a framework of the organization, then it didn't become too hard for me to start up something during the time of pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's the toughest, but it's also the most fulfilling. And it's the toughest because my managing businesses eats up my time to where I can just focus in becoming a mom. But I'm very glad also because my son is becoming to be involved in the things that we're doing. And so he understands that mommy and daddy has to work so that we have something to pay for his school and our food and most importantly at this point in his life, we're telling them that we're not just working, and we're not just working hard for him and for ourselves. We're working hard because other people's lives also rely on our hard work, and he understands that.
Yeah, it's great, great. Yeah. Ako, I like what you said, yung regarding tough times. And talagang, kumbaga nalampasan mo lahat yun. Sabi nga, di ba, there's this cliche that says, tough times never last, but tough people do. And I can see that tough person in you. Kaya nga, very resilient eh. Galing. So, yun. So, with that, nako, sabi ko nga, grabe malapit na naman yung 1 hour natin. Pero ang dami na natin nasabi, dami na natin na pag-usapan. And with that, I'm siguro just a few more questions, just last 2 questions. Ma'am Apple, what are your tips to our to our audience naman, to our winners on how to be a resilient leader? So yan, mga practical tips.
Practical tips how to become resilient.
Yeah.
Number one, it's kind of odd that this is coming from me, but I am also a work in progress, as what I said earlier.
All of us naman,
Yeah. As much as you can, or as much as you need to, do not decide based on your emotions. Yan. That's being resilient, I think. Kasi sometimes we are becoming reactive, 'di ba? So wag ka mag-decide when you're too emotional about something. Try to delay it just a bit, hindi naman yung sobrang delay. But try to delay it if you can, but not too delayed. Parang wag ka lang mag-decide when you're still too emotional about something. And then how do you win? Sometimes you win and you become resilient when you choose the things that you only react to. And my winning strategy there is that not everything should be shared in social media. So, of course, you still need to have real friends. And it's very important for you to choose the perfect or the right, hindi naman perfect. I think it's the right partner who will understand the things that you cannot process on your own. Like in my case, talking to Erwin is enough for me not to shut my mouth and not message anyone or like not post anything on social media that will also affect other people. So that's also being resilient, diba? You choose, yeah, it's cliche as you choose your battles, but yeah, you face all the battles, not you choose the battles. You face all the battles, but having in mind that not all battles should be battled on, and not all
Yeah.
battles should be battled right away, and not all battles should not all battles you will win, no, kasi
Yeah.
if you have that in mind, then you're more prepared to what would be your fallback. Then what happens if your plans doesn't turn out to be how it'll be, diba? And I think having in mind also yung what they said nga, that not not all things that grow were planted in that same spot, or that pot, parang ganon. So hindi lahat ng tinanim mo dun mismo tutubo. So in the same way, when you're doing something, you don't expect winning over something, or the people you're doing good with or for will be the ones to return the favor to you.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? So that, I think that's being resilient. And
Yep.
basta ano lang, you play a good balance also of appreciating that not all things will be given to you. There are some battles that you will win, there are some battles that you will lose. And when you lose, know that there's a bigger reason, there's a bigger purpose why you had to lose it, because there's something bigger that is waiting for you. But at the end of the day, of all these winnings, and all these show of resiliencies that we
Mm-hmm.
have, I think one thing that I have learned and I've exercised over the years is never to really burn bridges as much as you can. Not all people will like you, but never burn bridges, especially to those people who have helped you. At some point in your life, you will be down. At some point in your life, you will be given opportunities by people around you. And
Mm-hmm.
just always remember who those people are, and never burn the bridge to those people. Kasi ako, Coach Erwin, if there's one thing na I'm really proud about myself, and I can say this right straight on anyone's face, all the bosses that I had in the past, whether na-insulto ako, napaiyak ako, sumama ang loob ko, birthday ko, pinagtrabaho ako, yung mga ganon, lahat, nakalimutan yung birthday ko i-greet.
Mm-hmm.
Lahat, sabihin mo na, kasi sa dami nung naging experience ko din over the time that I was working, halos lahat yan na-experience ko na. But there's one thing that I never really did. I never burned bridges with any one of those. So kahit yung mga boss ko who helped me to become the person that I am today, from when I was 20 years old after college, I'm still talking to them up to now. Every person that I meet, I look at it as an opportunity and as a blessing, no, especially nakatulong sa akin. Syempre ibang usapan, Coach Erwin, yung nangloko sa akin. So yung
Oo
nangloko sa akin,
naman.
usapan yon. You don't forget those things as well, but you don't have to battle it, di ba? You don't have to battle it head on. But those who I really recognize na nakatulong sa akin, I never forget them. Kahit saan ka makarating, kahit ano yung marating mo sa buhay, these people will play an important role in your life, and you will never be where you are if not for these people. And it's not their task to remind you of that. It will be your selflessness, I guess that's one, and it will be
Mhm.
part of your values, um, to remain, to have that humility to look up to those people no matter where you go in life. And sa akin, I'm sharing that because I see so many people who tend to forget that. And
Yeah.
of course, I'm also one strong personality, no? And because of your role, because of your responsibility, sometimes, um, you you do things that is unpurposely mistaken and misunderstood by other people. But at the end of the day, you will only be the one to validate naman the things that you do in life and the things that you think should be counted as your accomplishment. And you cannot please everyone, di ba? You cannot please everyone. But
Yes,
really, the
definitely.
people who are sent to you to help you should not be forgotten. Kasi kailangan appreciated mo yon para every little thing that will come to you will be appreciated. Pag may na-miss out ka doon at nakalimutan mo yon, then parang baka, lalaki yung ulo mo, or you'll
Yeah.
think that you're always correct. You'll think that you're the best person in the world. Because at the end of the day, Coach Erwin, di ba, who cares if you're the top person on earth? Who cares if you're the most popular person on earth? Di ba? If you know in your heart that some people became miserable because of you,
Yeah.
'di ba? Or you're causing someone else's misery, or you're doing things unpurposely. So it to me personally, and this is just my personal opinion. To me, that event in your life doesn't make sense, because kahit pinakasikat ka dito pero hindi ka naman ikaw mismo sa puso mo, hindi ka masyadong sure kung makakarating ka sa heaven, paano na 'yon, 'di ba? So,
Yeah.
mas importante 'yon. I mean, it will be perfect if you're if you're popular and you're a good person. That's the perfect. That's great. That's a good life. That could be a perfect life, no? That's very inspiring and aspire, and people will aspire for it. But if you're not and you're just comfortable with your community, a few number of people that you choose to be part of, and them choose you to be part of their lives as well,
Mhm.
okay lang din yon, 'di ba? Kasi we are all here on earth to prepare for a lifetime ahead of us after we die. So if you're gonna die tomorrow and you've caused someone else's misery, yeah, 'di ba? And 'di ba, what kind of life is that? We
Life is
don't we
that.
don't like that. So just be grateful, and just be ready. Just be happy with what you have. I think that's winning already. That's winning.
Yeah.
But life isn't perfect. Life isn't perfect. My life
Of
is
course.
not perfect. Running TNC has never been perfect. There's always a lot of challenges
Of
that you meet along the way.
course.
But like what I said, when you need to face on something, you just switch on the button. When you need to switch it off, then you just switch it off.
You should.
And basta alam mo lang yung purpose why you're doing it. And to me, at the end of the day, I'm continuously producing shows on TNC. I'm continuously doing TNC because I know people like you, Coach Erwin, need my support for you to be able to carry on and continue the good things that you're doing. When no one else is believing in what we're doing in TNC, then probably I'll stop. But right now, with 18, 20 shows and with a few others who would like to have a
Mhm.
show, uh, we just have to keep going no matter what. Sabi nga ni Ellen DeGeneres sa character niya bilang si Nemo at si Dory. Sabi ni
Mhm.
Dory, just keep swimming, 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 di ba?
Yeah, that's correct, no? Yeah.
Minsan nababaliw-baliw na siya kasi nasa na ba sila, nalilito sila, naguguluhan sila, they have no proper directions. Just
Yeah.
keep swimming. Swimming,
It could
swimming, just
swim.
swimming. Ganun lang. And I know that my salbabida, as I swim on TNC, will be the anchors like you. You, King, Nato, Celia, Ange, I mean, everyone else,
Yeah.
sina Charm, those
Fun.
people who really appreciate what the value of what we have created together
Yeah.
as TNC, then that would be that would be winning moment for me lagi yan. When
Yeah,
I
of
see
course.
you guys touching at least one life through your content, that's already a winning moment for you and also most especially for me.
Yun. Grabe. So many value bombs there, winners, ha? So thank you very much, Ms. Apple, for your winning words to our audience. And of course, we would like to thank you. It's really a privilege for having you here on Win Within on TNC. And I think really 1 hour is not enough for us. But yun nga, we need to come to an end. And again, before we end the show, I would like to invite you to, of course, to our Win Within pictorial. Yeah.
Yes,
So
let's do this.
okay, have this Win Within shot.
Teka.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Apple. And again, I would like to greet you and your family a Merry Christmas. Thank
Same here,
you.
Coach Erwin. See you on December 19. Okay,
See
there's
you on
so many
December 19th. Okay, of course,
that we
our
should
TNC Christmas
share.
celebration.
Thank you to all the winners who's always supporting Coach Erwin, and we look forward to many more content that we will share with you together with Coach Erwin, of course, in 2023. Merry Christmas!
Thank you, Apple. God bless. Okay, so grabe, no? We really have a lot of winning words and value bombs from Miss Apple. And of course, sabi nga ni John Maxwell, guys, no, nothing in life breeds resilience like adversity and failure. Definitely, life is not perfect. We have a lot of struggles, but those struggles, difficulties will make us tough. And the more tougher we are, the more tougher we go in life. That makes us a resilient leader. That gives us that resilience within us. And of course, if you are resilient within, definitely from inside and out later on, that resilient leadership will definitely come out. Okay, so before I let you go, guys, I would just like to share my social media platforms wherein you can connect with me in LinkedIn, okay, /Erwin Y. Ursua, and Win Within Professional Coaching and Consultancy also. That's our page. And FB, of course, you would like to follow me in FB. That's Erwin Y. Ursua also. And again, Win Within Coaching and Consultancy for our FB page. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram, that's Erwin Y. Ursua. And if you'd like to email me something, here's my email address, coacherwin@winwithin.com.ph. And if you'd like to set a excuse me, if you'd like to set a schedule, you can have it through my Calendly account, calendly.com/Erwin Y. Ursua. So that would be if you would like to have a meeting, a coaching, consultancy, or anything that you would like to have, so that at least I can already reserve a time for you. Okay, so thank you very much again, winners, for joining us today, for joining us tonight. And always, sabi ko nga, don't forget, of course, always remember that you can always win in life as long as you always win within yourself, and win within, of course, your team, or you within your family. So with that, I would like to say good night again, and please do join me again next week. We have another special guest next week, December 14. So be here again Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Philippine time. So, okay, good night. Win within. Merry Christmas.